Run out of words when I'm writing. Sometimes I use the word very bad, but I always sound like my old granddad. Very wet and very dry. Time to bid them goodbye. Welcome back to Education Point. This is your host Pooja Sharma. Well, how did you like it when I was using the word very again and again? Wasn't it very repetitive to listen? This is what happens when you use this word again and again in every conversation. You look like a word bore. And that is why we are here today. Today I'll be sharing with you some really different and unique words that you can use instead of using that same word very. So, without wasting a further minute, let's get into the video. So here we present 20 English words to use instead of using very. Let's start with the first word, very happy. So when you are very happy related to any news or anything around, instead of using this word very and adding it up with happy, you can use words like elated, delighted. And putting that into a sentence will look like, he was so elated on his wedding day. I am so delighted to see you here. Next up is very loud. Now when the noise is very loud to your ears, you say deafening. Deafening. Let's see a sentence formation to it. The sound of the firecrackers was deafening. Isn't that a great word to use instead of using very loud again and again? Next up is very confused. Now when things are really confusing in your mind, instead of using very confused, one can always use words like baffled or perplexed. See, these are such nice words to use instead of always using confused or very very confused, isn't it? Now putting that into a sentence, it will look like, I got baffled solving that maths problem. The next one in the list is very big. Now when you see something really big, you can term it as gigantic or massive. Now in a sentence, it looks like, that rock looks really massive, or the gigantic elephant is the largest land animal on the earth. Next one, very small. Instead of using very small in any sentence, I would suggest you to use words like petite or minuscule. Putting that into a sentence, I have never been called petite in my life. The next word is very bad. Now giving an advanced word to use instead of using very bad, that is atrocious or awful. Conditions in the prison was atrocious. The next word is very hungry. So when you are really hungry, you say words like famished. What's for dinner? I am famished. Next word in the list we have very poor. Now a similar word to use instead of very poor is destitute. Destitute. Putting that into a sentence, when he died, his family was left destitute. Next word is very thin. To use some other words that are slinky, bony. Did you see a slinky man entering this area? Number 10, very shy. So instead of telling someone that he or she is very shy, you can use words like timid. She's timid and thus lacks confidence. Next in the list is very thirsty. So instead of being very thirsty, you can be parched. Parched. Please note that this is a one-syllable word ending with the pronunciation T. Parched. I was totally parched after a long run. Next one in the list is very hurt. So when you are really very hurt regarding something, you say battered. Your words battered my feeling. Next word is very powerful. So instead of saying you are very powerful, you say compelling. She has a compelling personality. Next up in the list is very talented. So when someone is really talented, you say them, he or she is gifted. Sneha is a uniquely gifted singer. Doesn't this sound more good when you say someone that you are gifted with something? Instead of using the same words, you are talented, or you are very talented, or you are very, very talented. Right? The next one is very neat. So when you say that things are really neat here, you say it's immaculate or spotless. Let's make the park immaculate. Or maybe he was dressed in a spotless white pocket t-shirt and a white sneaker. Let's move on to the next word, very sleepy. So when someone is really sleepy, you say lethargic. Lethargic. Working for straight 10 hours made me lethargic. Introducing the next word to you, very risky. Instead of using very risky, one can use words like perilous. Perilous. The country roads are quite perilous. The next one is very detailed. So when you say that something is really detailed, you tell them it's meticulous. Meticulous. Putting that into a sentence, the interiors of your house are meticulous. The second last one in the list is very difficult. And instead of saying very difficult, you say words like arduous. Arduous. The journey was arduous. The last but not the least is very upset. You can use words instead. Distraught. I am distraught with his yesterday's behavior. And here with these 20 words, we come to the end of this video. I hope I have given you some really new and different words which you can use instead of using that same word very